And you're watching the Hope Pod.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
We made it to another podcast. This is our first podcast we've done
In a while.
In a long while.
In a bit.
Again, I'm on a stool, so that's why I look so much taller.
We're sitting in.
It's so weird. Like, this is not... I don't know why it's weird, but it feels so, like, new.
It feels different. we've been gone for a bit.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, check out the video we posted Tuesday that kind of explains more into depth why we haven't been posting. And you get to see us play The Sims.
Yes.
So yeah, go watch that video. We also announced our new channel on that video.
We have yet to come up with a solid... We have a... What's the first name that we came up with?
I said the 3 girls from that one podcast.
I'm feeling
My name that he came up with.
Oh, no.
Which one?
Can't say that.
He whispered it. The microphone's picking it.
3 girls, 1 podcast. Anywho,
Okay.
what was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, no, I don't know. Oh, okay. Another name was the Hope Pod Uncensored.
And then the other one with the Cha channel.
Cha
because
channel.
the CHA.
Cha channel.
The Cha channel.
The cha cha.
The Cha
Oh my god, wait. And then our fan base, we can call them the cha chas.
The Cha Cha.
Cha channel might be the move.
I like
Cha channel might be the
Cha
move.
channel.
But yeah, we've been gone. Long story short, we just all kind of had a hectic time in our lives, and we just couldn't get together and do stuff. And when we could get together, we really weren't focusing on the podcast. We kind of were just hanging out.
Yeah.
So we haven't really been focused. But we are making a good effort to be able to get more focused.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even talk. I'm trying to find.
We're gonna make a strong comeback.
As we mentioned in our last video, we actually printed out a paper.
We have planning sheets now. We have a manager. Amaris' mom is our manager. She was on the phone scolding us earlier because we are such a mess. She was like, "You guys
was yelling at us.
You guys have to have a plan. This isn't a solid way to do it."
It was hard to hear, but we needed it.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
okay.
She told us that because we really all do care about it. We just
We're not good at organizing it.
yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just hard. It's a lot of factors.
It's
make it
new,
hard.
and it's new to us. Very new.
But one thing we want to talk about is our podcasts are going to become a little different. We're going to be a little bit more unfiltered.
A little bit more ourselves.
Yeah, because we've noticed we had. I think those podcasts we posted before were good, but they were definitely a little bit more
Scripted.
And then I edit the podcast a lot more. Like back then, I edited them a lot because there was just some stuff I didn't think we should include. And I don't know. It's not that they're not like cuss words or anything, but they would just be like simple comments that we think maybe aren't school appropriate, but I don't know how to explain it.
Even though this is, like we said before, even though this is for the school, it's not run by the school. This is essentially our channel.
Yeah.
But our target audience is somewhat,
It's from,
school appropriate. I mean, we are the Hope Squad, which is run by the school, but the channel is ours. So it's kind of hard to balance, our sense of humor versus,
What's okay.
And the
Right.
whole pod was also based off the principle about, being able to talk about suicide and being able just to be open. And I think that's kind of something that we didn't really do, but we haven't really been doing is we really haven't been talking openly about things because you've been afraid, but that kind of would defeat the purpose because the whole point is to be able to talk about it.
Right.
So we're not trying to say, oh, we're going to start cussing and talking about really bad stuff.
Not safe for work.
Yeah. We're more
just
talking about just being able to be candid and more just
Ourselves. I feel like before we were kind of putting on this mask of
A
trying to
show.
be it felt more like it was us trying to be a show more than ourselves.
Yeah, very scripted.
Yeah, it was just a lot more scripted, and I feel like really we're just putting a facade on.
It was all a facade.
It was just
all a facade.
It was all
Just
a
wasn't
dream.
us.
Yeah.
Just really wasn't us. But well, it's funny. We were more scripted before, but now we actually have a script.
Oh yeah, because
But this is more just kind of
What do
The
you call-
irony.
The irony is we were mad because we were too scripted, and now we're actually following a script.
At least this one. Well, these are more guidelines. We'll put some guidelines. We were following a dress code. Now we're following a dress guideline.
We weren't following anything before, but now it's like it's hard to explain.
Well, why don't you just be candid, man? What are you trying to say? It's fine.
It's like we had a script last time. You know how, like, you know, in acting or in theater, when you have a script, but you're allowed to make it your own? Mm-hmm. It's like we had this script, but we didn't make it our own. We read straight from the script and added nothing. But now we have a script, but we're making it our own.
Yeah, like we're adding a little bit of flavor, a little bit of seasoning
A little spice.
to the script. You know?
Yeah.
We're just adding a little bit of our own touch, which I feel like we weren't really doing before.
We weren't.
And hopefully you'll be able to, like, appreciate our, I guess, vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to make it sound cheesy, but, like, I feel the more open... You alright?
Yeah. Yeah, spider bit me.
Oh!
I'm okay.
You're
Just
gonna turn into Peter Parker.
Spider-Man.
Oh. That's okay.
Are you gonna be Spider-Man now?
No.
Scale buildings?
Like the next video, you're just all buff. You want to move?
No, it's fine.
You don't need your glasses anymore?
I don't have glasses.
Yeah, you do.
You have
Oh, what?
glasses.
I'm not wearing them right now.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I don't.
Like how Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he
When, like,
used
he
to have
took off-
glasses, and then once he got bit, he didn't need them, and he couldn't see out of them, so he had
The
to
Tobey
take them off.
Maguire one?
Yeah.
No, I understand.
The
I just,
OG one.
I'm not Spider-Man.
I don't know.
I think you could.
Peter Parker didn't think he was Spider-Man either until he, like, flew down the stairs.
Let's go. I'm gonna throw myself down the flight of stairs and
Well,
see what
not
happens.
right now. It's cold
Just
outside.
try and shoot webs out of your wrist tomorrow.
It took a full, like, 24 hours, though, because then, like, when he came home, he fell asleep. Mm-hmm. And then when he woke up, it was, like, the next day.
Yeah, because it was before school.
Right.
So text me tomorrow and I'll see what happens.
Well, you text us tomorrow. and tell
No,
us
but
you
what
have
if her
the
phone
powers.
gets stuck to her hand, like his stuff?
Like,
Yeah.
oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so
you guys have to let me know.
Okay, well.
Yeah. We'll call you, and then if you, at least you can, push the answer button, even if it gets stuck.
Well, since Miss Lisa's a nurse, I feel like she can tell, like, what would happen
She's
first.
not gonna be here tomorrow morning though. She goes to work.
Oh.
By the time I get up.
Okay, well, so we'll just call you then.
Yeah.
Do you feel okay?
Yeah. No, I feel fine. It definitely hurt, but I am excited to see if I get those superpowers.
And what if you just need to get rushed to the hospital?
As we talk about it, no, I think I'm fine. I don't feel like I got bit by a spider.
Maybe it was a vampire.
They have been running wild lately.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
there's
no
a,
cab. Come
Yeah.
on, weed.
I think I'll be fine though.
Well,
I appreciate the.
we gotta eyeball it.
Yeah,
We're just gonna eyeball
it
it.
changes hour by hour, day by day. You
Yeah,
never know.
yeah.
But I think I'll be fine.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Maybe you guys get bit by the same spider.
Oh
I
my
haven't, well, like,
God.
can't tell if it's my box braids, but it's been feeling kind of pinchy.
Maybe it's a spider.
Maybe it's a spider.
Have you ever also felt the spider? Maybe he's our friend. We just don't know.
A spider was crawling in my toe the other day.
Maybe that was his cousin Jimmy.
Yeah.
They're all in the family.
Oh
my
man,
God.
and
Yeah.
they're like pretty like close. If
Yeah.
they got all of us.
Yeah.
'Cause we're always.
So we're all gonna be Spider-Man.
Man.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
like the Spider-Verse, we will all be different versions.
Yeah, we'd be different versions.
Guys,
I
that
think
would be so dope.
I think I would be the '80s Spider-Woman.
80s.
Yeah.
I think I'd be the Spider Noir one.
Yeah.
With the black
Oh,
and
I
white.
like. I think that
Oh,
that's
yeah.
definitely
I'm
really
the
good.
best.
You'd be
I feel like
the,
I'd be the pig one.
Peter
probably.
Porker.
Peter
Yeah.
Porker.
I
Or
think
the one with the
it's a really good
robot
one.
spider.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one for you.
Yeah.
There was the last one. Oh, there was the original,
Yeah.
the adult one.
Yeah.
And then
Oh.
there was, I feel like there was one more that we were missing.
The adult
and then
one, yeah.
Spider-Gwen.
SpiderGwen.
Yeah.
Spider-Quit.
Spider-Gwen.
Yeah. I'm not cutting any of this out.
I just...
This is all stuff. Hey, we're making
See,
a promise
these are the things
that I
that
would have cut.
that we
out.
cut before, but these are the
This
things that
wasn't
we want you
scripted at all.
guys-
Yeah, no.
These are the things.
No,
that we
I
want
actually
you
did
guys
get
to
bit
see.
by a spider.
She really did.
That wasn't scripted.
By the end of the podcast, you just swell up.
I really think I did.
So
Somebody
anyway,
get
we
an
were
EpiPen.
talking, and are you okay, bud? Just take off your jacket. So next on the. Do you remember the thing? Is your friend okay?
It's okay. It's okay. Why is my hair doing this? Bro, I look like a fish.
Wait.
It's like sticking up in the weirdest spot.
The same character.
It's parted splitting right here.
Oh my god. But yeah, we're rebranding our channel.
You have a natural side part.
I really do. Ew, wait, look.
Why did you look in disgust?
Because it reminded me of like a greasy man. Like the greasy men that wear their hair like to the side.
I just need to fix this real quick.
If you guys don't know, the reason why we keep looking to our right is because there's a monitor. Oh shoot. Let me turn the flash off. Okay. We're looking to our right because there's a monitor. Here's the camera and there's the monitor. So that's why we keep looking over there. And here's us. Alright, but yeah, we're branding our channel. This is our new channel.
This is now the podcast.
Oh
Yeah.
man, they should click off again. what did they
Stop
talk
clicking
about?
off!
Come back.
Guys,
Click
does
back.
this look bad? Did y'all hear that?
No, we
Whoa! You look the mirror, Whoville.
My mom got this flat iron that's also a curling iron. And it's like in a spiral. And I'm like, you look like you have a flat iron in Whoville. And she got really offended. Like, shut up, it's not like
Bro, why is it splitting like
You
this?
ever like joke with your parents and then they just like get mad at the wrong thing? Like of all the things I've said, and you get mad because I say your toes are big. Like
I swear.
I just insulted your whole bloodline, and then you get upset when I say that.
So a big thing that we want to include in this one is we want to talk about I guess a group of people who they've been through some things,
Yeah.
quite a few things, like including in the last like few years. I feel like there's been a lot of like, I don't know, things happening that I feel like people just aren't talking enough about, you know, like I feel like there's just been a lot of things going against these people, and I feel like we should just bring it up, you know, and talk about it. Mm-hmm. And the group of people we are talking about is the LGBTQ plus community. I'm sure as many of you know already, I am a part of that community. I have a girlfriend, as I said on one of the other videos.
My girlfriend was on.
Yeah, and they were actually on it. But I don't know. I really want to. I feel like I touch very close to home with this topic just because I know that there are a lot of people who are in this community that either can't outwardly say or talk about it, or they're just put down for it a lot of the time, especially like with family members. And I feel like, you know, just being open about it can kind of help people like understand that they're not alone, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of just to let other people know in that community that even if things are hard, like you have other people out there for you and things will get better.
Right.
Um,
And there was like, I think we've mentioned this before. Us three are pretty fortunate to be where we're at, school wise, because we know like there are a lot of people, especially in our age, who are just very unaccepting because of their parents. But at least for our school is very, very diverse, not only in like races and ethnicities, but sexualities.
And not only in students and in teachers too.
Teachers
yeah,
too.
there
Yeah.
are a lot of just. There's a lot of just different groups within the school that I think like people represent, and I really like that about Whitehall. Mm-hmm. Like that is something that I really appreciate, is there's not just one major group of people that like takes over the school. I feel like Whitehall is pretty good about being diverse,
And
I
they're
feel
pretty
like,
accepting.
yeah,
You know?
like I feel like there's not like I feel like Whitehall is a school that you don't really have to be scared to like go in and tell people like, hey, I'm gay, or hey, I'm pan, hey, I'm bi, and I feel like
these are my pronouns.
Yeah,
Right,
you know?
like that's a really good thing I think with our school. Like even like a lot of like the beginning of the year assessments. Like actually, I think I had one teacher do it. There's one teacher put like on her like introduction that we all had to fill out, she put, "Oh, what are your preferred pronouns?" And it's like, maybe to you personally, that doesn't mean a lot because maybe you don't have different pronouns from like the pronouns. Maybe you don't have different pronoun. I can't talk. Different pronouns from other people, but there's some people who don't identify as maybe what you would think they would. So it's nice for them to be able to say, "Oh, I go by they. I go by he. I go by her," and it means a lot for them. So that's the other thing is to be, cautious of it, just because it may not mean a lot to you, or maybe you don't see whatever, which I don't see why you don't, because I think it's a beautiful thing. It means a lot to someone else, and that's why it's important for us to do it. Like put it in your Instagram bios, put your Twitter bios.
That's a big thing too. I'm sorry that if somebody is telling you what their pronouns are, and it's like, you're human. Sometimes people make mistakes and like mispronounce or misgender people.
Yeah.
But if you're purposefully, oh well, no, this is a she. I'm gonna call her she. Worst kind of person ever.
Oh, get out of my face.
Like who are you?
It's just disrespectful because it's like if this person is asking you nicely, like I'm not comfortable with being called that. That's not who I feel like I am. Like I guess one way to think of it is like if you're a boy and you go by he, him, his pronouns. Mm-hmm. If somebody walks up to you and just like, "Oh yeah, she this, she that, she this, she that," you're gonna be a little irritated. You're gonna be like, "Why do you keep calling me she? I'm not a girl."
And you get mad if they're like, "Oh, I don't care, so I do it to other people."
Right. It's just like kind of a respect thing, like a general respect thing. Like I feel like, you just should respect people's pronouns because sometimes it can be a really sensitive topic for them. Like sometimes it can be something that really just is sensitive for them, and it's just something that you should be aware of, And I mean, like they said, like, everyone's human. Everyone makes mistakes. So, like, of course, if you knew someone and growing up they went by she or hers pronouns, but now they go by they, them. If you accidentally call this person she or her, I am sure if you explain yourself, this person's not going to be mad. Like,
don't make a big production like, "Oh my God, I'm so just." Oh, excuse me.
Avon's a perfect
yourself.
example. Like when Avon switched to using, like they, them. At first, I was like I couldn't transition. Like I think we all we're like, "Oh, she," but then after I'm like, "Oh, I mean they," and like I think it's better to just be like, "Oh, they," and so just be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You don't go by that," because then the other person's just kind of like. Yeah,
it's like it's okay.
It's okay.
Like don't make a big deal out of it.
Just say like if you say like she, so they just say like she, they, and just keep going with your sentence.
And don't be afraid of correcting other people. Like if somebody's saying, "Oh, I talked to her," just say them.
Yeah.
Just.
And if they get mad, just say, "Well, then we're ending this conversation."
All right. See you later. Don't refer to me or us as anything.
If you aren't gonna respect our pronouns, I'm gonna tell you to go away.
Good time.
I'm gonna tell you to go away.
Oh, I saw this thing, and it was like, if you don't respect my pronouns and call me he, him, you're gonna get he, hit. I was like,
yes. Yeah. But I feel like pronouns are just something that like. I kind of like that it's becoming. Minimum. Yeah, I will say like, at first it seemed like people were a little reluctant to do it, and I think it was because at first it's like it's different and different is scary. But I feel like, especially with the school, I feel like there's a lot of people who are like coming more to terms with it, and like teachers, staff members, and a lot of people are like trying to really incorporate it and like actually use students' preferred pronouns, which. I really appreciate because, like, I know people who, don't use the normal pronouns
and
that...
binary.
Right. Like, I know people who don't use, the pronouns that everybody used since they were young, like he and her, but I really appreciate that there's older people and older generations that are trying to, really incorporate it and just use them.
Right.
And like, if people who are older, my thing is, if people who are older and people who grew up in way different times can adjust to it and use them and like be respectful of other people, like it's not that hard. Like think about it. There's people who literally grew up in times that like even saying something about that was like, what are you talking about? That's so weird. Why are you doing that? Like,
right.
And if they can grow up with all of these things in their heads and still respect other people's pronouns, I think that everyone can.
It's just I'm glad that we're in a time now where that is like recognized, because even how like back in the day when they used to do the literary thing, like, oh, like these two are really, really close friends when it was obvious that they were gay.
Yeah.
It's like nice now that we can like pinpoint, well, maybe I'm not feeling like totally, male or female. Maybe I'm somewhere in the middle or just neither or both. It's just so nice that it's like a thing to it, like a.
Also, I'm glad that like sexuality has become kind of more of a spectrum because like for me personally, like I've never been in a relationship, so I always say it's like, and people like ask like, oh, like you think you'd like be gay, bi, or straight, or like whatever, and I always say like I've only ever been attracted to guys, but also I've never been in a relationship. Who am I to say that I won't get in a relationship with a guy and I'll be like, oh, this doesn't work, and maybe it could be because it's that guy, maybe I don't like guys, or maybe it's a thing where personally with me, I don't know if I'm attracted to women, but I think women are really, really pretty.
They're gorgeous.
Amazing.
Women.
You're biased.
Listen,
Yes, you love women. But I think like that's something like I think I always do this.
It's just so emotional. Like
I think it's cool that like people can just openly say like it doesn't really matter who you like. Because like I said, I mean, maybe I'm straight, but maybe there's a girl in like a couple of years and I'm like, wow, really pretty.
I'm on a date.
Like you.
Yeah, and
Like,
I mean, sexuality can change too.
And I'm saying, yeah.
So now we're dating. You see?
Look how simple that is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like sexuality, because it's such a spectrum now, it's just, there's so many different options. Like, and you don't have to strictly stick to one thing. Like,
Fluid.
yeah,
Yeah,
sexuality
it's
is
so
like,
fluid.
it's a
It is.
very
It really
fluid
is.
thing.
That's what
like,
it was.
It can change.
I don't think spectrum was the right word. What
Like,
was it?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's
on a
it's
spectrum, but it's fluid.
and you're fluid within
Yeah.
the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different
This is my
things.
solid.
Synonymous.
Yeah.
It's not what I did.
Roll the clip. Okay.
So, for all the people out there who are confused and don't know what their sexuality is, it is not something that you have to figure out right now. Like, it's not something that you have to know. And if somebody asks, just, you know what, if you don't know, you could always just be like, I don't know. Just be honest. Or if you're not, or if you're not sure what exactly
Harry
you
Styles.
are, like if you don't know if you're bi or pan or whatever, you could always just say you're queer.
I'd say he's very fluid too.
Yeah, Harry Styles.
Yeah.
I like that he's never labeled as sexuality. Like, yeah, you've seen, ow! Yeah, you've seen, like, him out with girls, and he has a song called Woman and She.
But have you seen the Lights Up video?
Yeah, but then you watch Lights Up video, he's all, he's getting it. So.
Yeah, but like, you don't have to decide what your sexuality is, and if it changes, that's okay. Just be you.
And don't shame other people if, like, one day they decide to go by this, or one day, because I remember, I'm no saint either. I remember there was this one time where I would be like, oh, well, I thought this person, like, was attracted to this, and now they're with this, and I'm so confused. It was none of my, it was none of my business. So don't shame people if they decide, like, they're not one specific thing,
Yeah.
But the next topic.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So something else that we wanted to touch on.
Halloween's coming up right around the corner.
It is Halloween, right around the
Are we gonna
corner.
have a special Halloween podcast?
Yes,
Oh, that's a
we-
secret. Did you hear my jaw crack?
Animal.
And my soup. Okay, but no, for real, Halloween's coming up, and we know that everybody, not everyone, but a lot of people like to dress up on Halloween, and we want to talk about some costumes that you should not wear because, well,
Should I get
there's a
examples?
lot of costumes that,
Like, fun.
oh
We'll
yeah,
talk
I
about
already know like a few
Oh,
examples
okay.
and stuff, but there's just a lot of costumes that you should not wear during Halloween because it can be cultural appropriation and it can be offensive to some people. And you just gotta, be conscious of it.
Yeah, cause I'm not gonna like cast anybody out, but this is very popular within like Caucasian people, where or mostly models, like when they're like showing off costumes and stuff, they wear things that they don't think is inappropriate, but looking back on it, it really is,
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure everyone's made a mistake as a child and like wore something that maybe wasn't, exactly the best thing to wear, like, as a costume.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, as kids, you don't really think about that.
Right, kids, they're not thinking about that.
Right, and so, of course, as kids, there are lots of kids that go out and get sugar skull costumes.
Oh, yeah.
And, that is probably not a costume that you should wear on Halloween, because Halloween and Cinco de Mayo. No,
I think it's
not Cinco.
Dia
Yeah,
de los
not
Muertos.
Cinco de Mayo. That's a whole different thing. But no, it's just sugar skulls. That's a whole different occasion and a whole different culture.
Yeah, it's also not your culture.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like you shouldn't wear it because it's kind of offensive to people who do celebrate that, and it's a little offensive.
Right, it's like the whole my culture's not your costume. That's literally what. Or
Yeah.
like the whole Indian chief thing. First of all, that's not even.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like the Native
It's not even the
American,
correct-
like the Native American like tassel dresses that
And the
people wear.
headdresses and stuff.
That probably again you should not wear.
Geishas, like those are all
Geishas, yeah, like,
blackface.
that's an obvious
That's
one.
a big.
That's an
do
obvious
not.
big no. Don't do that.
I don't understand what goes through a person's mind. I'm like, I'm gonna dress up as a black person this year.
That is.
Like,
If you want
Or
to dress up
even-
as a black person, don't try and change the color of your skin.
You could be Michael Jackson and get like the shoes and the hat and the outfit.
Right.
That doesn't mean you. Well, I guess like.
Or if you want to dress up as, I don't know.
There was this one
Prince.
person. It was like his name was. It was from Bob's Burgers. Me and my mom were talking about this. The little son Gene. He dressed up
Yeah.
as like Queen Latifah, and he had on like the African like thing from the video, but he did not do blackface.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know like the logistics
There's
of
just
it.
so many ways.
Like, if you want to dress up as, like, I don't know, say you're,
Like, Prince is a good one.
yeah, Prince.
The purple
or,
jacket and.
Right, like, you could still do that and say, like, or say you're a white person and you really look up to Martin Luther King. You want to be him for Halloween.
Do not just don't.
That's fine.
Well, if you look up
wear the
Martin Luther, then.
wear the suit, maybe have a sign that says I have a dream, but, like, don't paint your face.
That kind of
That's
goes against exactly what he.
yeah, that's kind of, it defeats the purpose. There's just, before you get a costume this year, before you go to pick one out, just be conscious. Like, maybe do some research. If you see a costume that you're like, ooh, I think I could, I think I like that costume. Like, just really think about it. Like, does this offend somebody's culture? Is this taking someone's culture? Is this wearing someone else's culture as a costume?
And like, if you need to be sure, like one thing you could always like possibly like you can Google it. It's probably answered on there. But if you have a friend from that specific culture, ask them, hey, I was thinking about doing this. Would that be okay? And make
Like,
sure
would
they're
this be offensive to you?
Right.
Does this costume offend you? I don't want to offend you.
And don't just say like, don't just take their answer with a grain of salt. If they say no, don't wear it.
Yeah, and
Don't wear
don't
it.
argue with them. If they say no, don't say, oh, but it's not like I'm.
Like I'm not
no.
trying to. Whoop, whoop, I said no.
said no.
Even if
No
'cause
means no.
when people say like, oh, well, I'm not trying to be racist. Even if you're not trying to, it still is.
If you
one of
have to
those-
explain yourself, then you.
It's one of those things where, you may not find it offensive, but it's because it doesn't affect you.
Yeah,
And
right.
that's the
That's
biggest
it.
thing is like you can't tell someone else that what you're doing wasn't racist because it's like, but you're not the person to say that. You're not the one who's getting
Offended.
yeah.
That's the same thing for the people who are like, oh, well, I'm this and I didn't find it offensive. Well, that's because you're probably not in touch.
Or a lot of people. Right.
I mean, I already made the Caucasian thing. We can just.
No, I guess this is a little tidbit. One thing that I kind of don't like is when people are like, I'm not that into politics. But it's a lot like what's going on right now. They're like, oh, I don't want to talk about, I'm not into politics. But what's going on right now is,
It's not politics.
Just say you're privileged and go.
yeah, because you have the privilege to not be a part of something that's threatening your rights.
Yeah.
And just, there's just so much to go into that topic. But I guess that's just kind of what I've seen a lot lately.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point, yeah. But yeah, this year, just try to be conscious. And if you see like other friends or family members and you see them wearing something that you know might be a little offensive,
Yeah.
tell them. If they don't listen to you or if they argue with you, at least you tried, you know?
They will learn.
Right, they'll learn. I mean, at some point. If not, well, at least you tried, you know? Just attempt to make an effort to be more conscious about the costumes that you wear this year and just, yeah, because, you know, Halloween's a time that everybody wants to have fun. And, I mean, if I was Hispanic and I was, like, going trick-or-treating and I saw a bunch of people wearing sugar skull costumes, I'd be a little offended. And it'd kind of ruin my night. Because it's like, that's my culture and you're wearing it like a costume.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, you don't want to ruin other people's nights just to wear a $5 costume.
And also, there's so many other costumes.
Yeah, there's so many different choices of costumes. Like, you don't have to wear that costume.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
I just, yeah.
Just be a good person.
Yeah. Be a good person. Try to be conscious of the things you do because you never know if it could offend someone. And I mean, of course, you could say, well, everyone could find something offensive. Or everything could be offensive to someone.
But like the obvious things,
There's
like
definitely obvious things that are
you
offensive.
should.
It's like, of course, maybe Jordans offend someone. Like, the shoe Jordans offend people.
Right.
Well, okay, you didn't know that, you know.
There's a
you
difference
know.
between getting mad at shoes and then saying the N-word. Don't say the N-word.
Yeah, don't get so in character that you're. Well, no, you understand. I'm actually. I don't care who you are for
My black friend said I could do it. I don't understand what the big problem is.
It's just for my costume. I really don't say this outside. And who are you?
You put on a piece of cloth and you think you can. Sorry, we're off. But yeah, we're out of time.
Can you imagine if somebody did do that? No, don't tell. I'm Prince this year, so I can say.
And you know what? If you guys want to find a fun costume to wear, dress up as the opposite gender. That's always fun. Like, just really go all out with it.
Yeah,
No.
we had a bad experience with that.
We did, but that was because we were being other people we knew.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Famous people.
There's a whole band camp story. Something went wrong.
It
I'm not
was,
gonna get into
yeah,
was-
people got exposed.
that'll be our story time
It
for
was
the Cha
just-
channel.
And if you don't have a costume, dress up as us.
Yeah.
Just
Or
do-
you know what? You could always do the thing that some people have to do if they don't have money. I'm not adding myself, but I kind of
I
am.
mean, I'm adding myself.
You know, if you don't have money to buy a costume, make one out of a box. Be a robot.
Actually, my friend Jessica did a great robot costume.
Like
she won.
it can look bomb.
She won Halloween.
Like it could really look bomb. Like, you know those things that are behind the dryers?
Yeah.
Like you
She
can
does.
get those,
Yeah.
put them on your arms, get a box.
Oh my gosh.
You look bomb.
There are so many like cheap costume like videos on YouTube. Like somebody had like a pillowcase and a stripe, and they wanted the burglar.
That's good.
Yeah, burglar.
Get a sheet, cut holes for the eyes. You're a
Charlie
ghost.
Brown. Oh, the ghost.
The time's about to run out.
But that's it, guys.
Oh, we love you.
We love you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Maybe it does have more time.